welcome to another episode of Hard Factor presented by the Barstool News Network. It is What the Fuck Wednesday, September 16th, 2020. It feels like a exceptionally what the fuck kind of week, even inside of 2020. It's already a big what the fuck kind of
half
year.
the country's on fire.
Yeah, we got our buddy Dave on in the second half of the pod to discuss that. He is boots on the ground in where again in Oregon, Wes?
McMinnville. It's like an hour outside of Portland.
Yeah. So he's up there sticking around, battling the blaze. So we talked to him about that in the second half. And then we got weight loss, boys. Weight loss results. Large weight in officially. So, Mark, what's going on there?
I mean, losing weight. You know what I mean? Just losing
you're
losing
in the
that
lead.
weight.
I mean, like you're in the lead, right? And then
Wes
second?
is like right on my. I mean, Wes and I are interchangeable right now.
What are the percentages? You
That's
lost
what I'm
more. Yeah.
I think that I would say it's a dead heat right now.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's so early though that it doesn't matter. But
It
Wes
doesn't
and I
matter.
are out in front. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. The only person who's really trailing behind, and the Beeve, you're not going to be surprised by this considering the results of the first weight loss contest. You're significantly in last right now.
Oh, I know.
5.
I know it. Don't I know it?
Okay.
Don't I know it?
You got a plan? You got a turnaround plan coming?
Eating some pies up there in New York.
I've been
eating some
avoiding
slices?
the pies.
Yeah. What are you doing up there, fatty?
Avoiding the pies. Yeah, I got a plan. Sure, I got a plan. It's all part
Well,
of the
no,
plan.
I want to hear what you've been doeen. What Wes's question was better.
I have been actually eating pretty decently. You know what's tough is there's no gyms up here, and I haven't been. So I've been walking a lot more. Normally, like last competition, I was going to the gyms. There's no gyms open. But I need to get a.
Thanks, de Blasio.
I need to get
right?
a better exercise routine because I was walking like 3.5 miles a day compared to 0 when I was back in Texas. So I thought, oh, this is going to help. And I've been drinking a lot of water and like.
Well, but you're walking a lot now, right?
Yeah, no, it didn't do as much damage. I'm pretty
3
much
miles
steady.
a day ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's like a little bit over maintenance level.
What's really
Yeah.
going on? Just be honest.
Well, I mean, what's
Yeah,
going
how
on
many-
is I'm
How many
you know,
desserts you eating?
I'm at the mercy of other people in terms of food, or I have been thus far. So
There we go. Yeah.
So you're just eating everything offered to you.
no, most
You got to eat out a lot. You got to eat
Yes.
out a lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm tempted probably more often than you guys are because I can't prepare meals at home. Like
Well, do they
yeah.
have salads at these menus?
Yeah, I've been going salad.
Non-salad places.
I've been going salad.
Right.
So
Okay.
I've been going salad.
Just extra croutons, extra
fried
ranch.
chicken salad, extra.
He's
Like,
lying about
get-
something.
You
I'm
got to
getting the
dress
bowl-
those salads now.
I'm getting the Southwest bowl made of chip.
Right.
Yeah.
Problem
Now,
was
we're all down though. We're all down.
about
It's all
16
positive.
days ago was my birthday, and
Right.
we just
Wait, you get a 16-day
Yeah.
buffer where nothing's expected?
What do
I
you
went
want
out
from
for
me?
my-
I'm turning around. It's hard when you're not at your home base. I'll be honest with you, but I'm turning around.
I went out for my
is.
birthday
Yeah, I
dinner
hear you, I
and
hear
spent $400 with my wife, and what a meal! We had $250 in gift cards thanks to Eddie.
How'd
V.
you lose
shout
weight
Shout out Eddie V.
after this?
I mean, outside of that one dinner where I let it all hang out, I had a kick-ass week.
You just didn't eat anything else at all? Yeah, like
I mean, I had like an average of like 800 calories or much less the rest of the week, and I worked out every day.
wow.
But I had 4,000 calories easy that night.
That's impressive. It's going to be hard to win in this field, in this dead heat.
It is going
All
to be
right.
hard.
But yeah, we got 4 stories, 4 very excellent what the fuck stories, I believe, probably all provided by the Hardo Hive on What the Fuck Wednesday. And then we have our conversation with Dave in the second half about the wildfires in Oregon. Wes, get us going.
Yeah. Oh, before I get us going, want to also mention for that weight loss competition, the donations are, you can still, it's a pinned tweet on our Twitter, so donate. You guys haven't put your money in yet. I've put my money in. I noticed no one else has.
I'll put mine in tonight.
Okay, but
How do the listeners get involved?
they go to the tweet, just click on that link, and they can donate money. And then the listeners getting
That's
involved
our
in
fund.
That's our
like
fund for charity.
And out of that pot, that then will decide based
Yeah.
on performance where the money goes, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And none
So-
of it goes to us. It all goes to the charity.
None of it goes to us.
Beeve, when you go on breakfast next Monday, can you plug that charity stuff?
100.
on
We
Barstool
will
Breakfast?
talk about it. We'll give a full update.
All right, cool.
And also one last thing, ladies of the Hive, your request has been answered. There is a shirt. The Have a Great Fucking Day shirt is now available in a lady shirt, nice and slimming. The
really
white
pops.
Yeah, pops.
It looks good.
We do listen to you. We are men that listen to the ladies. So go and get one of those, and then maybe we'll get some more if they sell well. So
I've heard it's scientifically proven boobs look bigger in a white shirt.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then the
what everybody
HHFD will be popping out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, makes me want to get a time machine, go back in time,
Three-dimensional,
go into
have a great
science.
fucking day. Yeah.
It's gonna look great. So yeah, you asked for it. We gave it to you. Go get one.
Be part of that study.
Here we go. The first one. This one comes from Dad Bods. You guys, we covered the anti-mask rallies yesterday.
Yeah.
They're happening all over the world. And Indonesia is no different. There's people everywhere in the world that don't want to wear these fucking masks. And there's every government is trying to figure out a way how to make the people wear the masks. As we've been told that it helps a little bit. But the anti-masking that's going on here would not fly in Indonesia. They actually have a national law there that it's a law that you have to wear a fucking mask. And what they do over there, they have a special way of dealing with anti-maskers over there. So first, you go to jail, right? And this is happening in the East Java province of Indonesia, where there's a big spike in coronavirus. So first, you go to jail, and then what they make you do is they make you bury the bodies of people that have died from corona.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like a scared straight. Oh man,
Yeah.
that's like a
So they have a
Christmas
bad
Carol.
outbreak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the
Real-
Three Ghosts
real
of
bad
Christmas
outbreak.
Carol.
Yeah, that's like an intense version of rubbing your dog's nose in it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
After he shits on the carpet. Whoa. Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
like the horror film version of that. Except
Do
for
these
people.
bodies bodies look fake?
I mean, and
Except
there's,
for
Very
not
ribs.
putting a cloth over your nose and mouth.
yeah, and there's a Malaysian dude over you being like, "Look what you did! Look what you did!"
Yeah.
Except you can understand things better than your dog,
Hopefully.
You should be able
Right.
to. Yeah.
Talk
Yeah.
about a punishment that really fits the crime there,
we
man.
won't know for years, really, if it worked or not.
Yeah. So local politician Suyono, that's just what he goes by, Suyono, said there are only 3 available gravediggers at the moment, so I thought I might as well put these people to work with them. So they're claiming that the people that the anti-maskers aren't actually touching the bodies and everything's real sanitary, and they're just digging the graves, which I'm sure is complete bullshit. They're making just you don't believe this is real? You don't believe you need to do this shit? Take a look. Why don't you bury this guy? Because he died of corona.
That's too extreme. That's like they're going to get him sick. That's too extreme.
Oh, you think?
Yeah. That's
I just
way
like how
too extreme.
Signono is so on top of his shit that he knows exactly how many gravediggers are available in his province. Like that's a politician really who listens to his community, is on top of his stuff. I like that.
That's a dictator who knows his stuff.
Well, like we said, if you
What
don't like the
what kind of government is that?
it's like the Three Bears thing all over again. Like if like an anti-mask rally is too cold, and then like forcing the people that don't wear masks to go to jail, and then burying the bodies that
Or
are gonna get sick
bury
is too
dead
hot.
bodies. It's
Like why? If you don't like to wear masks and you're so into not wearing masks and your freedoms and your rights, just don't wear masks, but don't have a fucking rally announcing it, you assholes. Like
This is also the country that brought us flogging too. So they have, I think they have some interesting
public flogging.
Yeah, they have some interesting.
Still have it.
Was it Indonesia? Remember the famous one in the '90s? It was like on the cover of Time magazine where a kid went over there and spray painted a wall and got like just beaten with a stick publicly.
Probably.
It might have been Indonesia. It might have been Singapore. I'll look into that.
they shot him with out of a cannon into the wall.
They like their flogs over there.
You have another one from these mystical isles, right?
Well, I was looking into it, but it was a stupid story. It's about a monkey that stole a guy's cell phone, and when he found the cell phone, there was a bunch of like selfies and videos of the
How is
monkey.
that a stupid story?
How is it? Because
Yeah. adorable.
Sounds like the best story of the year.
The monkey
No.
took pictures.
the monkey was trying to eat the phone, accidentally took some pictures. So when he found
That's
it,
awesome.
there's just this monkey the guy said he couldn't figure out how the phone was gone. He thought it was sorcery, and then he
Wait
tried
a minute.
Yeah,
It's either
Sounds
magic
awesome.
or
it wasn't as
tragic.
I'm making it out to be better than it is.
Dude,
So
I
they-
want to move to a place
skipped
where
over the-
sorcery is an explanation for stuff.
You
call it-
skipped over the sorcery and monkey selfies story.
Yeah, you can read it for yourself. It's not that great.
Sounds okay.
We're talking about it now, aren't we?
Yeah, sounds pretty great, Wes.
I had it up here just in case one of you guys asked.
So let me get this straight. The guy lost his phone, blamed it on sorcery, but really a monkey had it and then took selfies of himself. Then the guy got the phone
And
back
was
and has the
teething
selfies.
with it, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Chewing
then,
on it,
and then they
Terrible.
called they saw the monkey. They called the cell phone, and the monkey had it in a tree. And when they went to get it, the monkey dropped it.
There was
and ran.
monkey business.
The monkey set a bunch of unbeatable high scores on all of his games.
Yeah,
It's like Naratu.
Fucked him up and
that was in Malaysia,
all right, well,
very close to
Let's-
Indonesia.
let's keep it international. Guess what, guys? There's peace in the Middle East. Isn't that something?
Yeah, didn't Trump do that?
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
Did. It's so crazy. that 2020, you would not think. Like everybody's like, that'll happen when there's peace in the Middle East. That's been a saying for like
when
fucking
pigs
ever,
fly, yeah.
right? And then 2020, you would not think this would be the year.
Well, beauty pageant contestants and alumni are celebrating today because it finally happened. The most popular answer is, "I wish there was peace in the Middle East." Guess what?
Huh.
Guess what? Beautiful pageantry people. It happened.
Yeah, maybe it's time for me to
meanwhile-
apply to college because last time I checked, my mom was like, not until there's peace in the Middle East, they let you
There
in.
you go. Yeah, you can really get away with whatever you were going to do that you shouldn't have when someone said that back to you.
Game changer for
Yeah.
everybody. Yeah.
So yeah, like Will mentioned, the whole world's sucking except for the Middle East. So good for them. On Tuesday, President Trump signed some historic documentation and declared it's a new dawn of the Middle East. And the deals are called the Abraham Accords, and they're between Israel and the United Arab Emirates, as well as Israel and Bahrain. And I think that's it for now. I'm not sure. And it involves
Cool name, very biblical.
But the big
Yeah,
thing
the Abraham
between the Arabs and the Jews, that's the huge part about it, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And why it would be called the Abraham Accords.
Yeah.
Yep, getting to that. Yeah, it involves the countries cooperating on ambassadors and embassies. So they're allowed to have embassies in each other's countries with their own ambassadors. It involves trade between the countries, security, tourism, and the ability for Muslims to visit the holy sites in Israel peacefully.
Whoa,
So
that's nice.
That's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
One country noticeably absent, so it's not peace in all the Middle East, is Iran from the Abraham
don't
Accords.
say.
Yeah, Iran's not a part of the Abraham Accords.
Those guys seem so chill and just relaxed. You'd think they would want to sign on to some, peaceful thing.
They're having a tough go.
I think-
the Ayatollah's pretty old. The Ayatollah's older than Biden and Trump. He's old man losing his mind over there in Iran.
Iran is the reason for the peace, right? Because essentially it's the common enemy. That's why they're getting together.
Right, everybody's scared shitless of Iran, and
sure-
so they're like, let's team up and do
Sure, they
business.
all talk shit about Iran.
No,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I hate you, but I hate
Trump's the
Iran
reason
a
for the
lot
peace,
more.
Pat. Trump's
Right.
the reason.
Okay.
The Iranian regime, by the way, instead of doing the Abraham Accords, executed a champion wrestler, Naveed Afkari, hung him to death on Saturday. This came after international outcry to spare the athlete's life. Was like for the past month, it's been like a huge story, including Dana White asked Donald Trump to specifically reach out to the leaders of Iran and ask for
He
like
needed
a pardon.
a new UFC star.
And he did. Trump reached out and said, but via tweet, but I don't know if he called him, but definitely tweeted and said, "Hey, Iran leaders, please don't execute this guy." But they did. Afkari and his brothers were arrested in 2018 for protesting the government, which they certainly did. They took to the streets and protested. But here's where it gets, he said, she said. Afkari was charged with participating in illegal demonstrations, insulting Iran's supreme leader, robbery, enmity against God, which all those so far sound like uniquely Iranian bullshit charges, but then also was charged with murder of a security guard. So that
He got
kind of really,
fatwa'd, basically.
yeah, murder of a security guard. Though they said he specifically killed this one security guard, so that's a little bit different than insulting, a
is.
leader. That's a serious charge. So Afkari ended up confessing to the murder, but later said he was tortured pretty badly into the confession. That's the only reason he confessed. And a lot of people thought he was innocent, in the past couple months and stuff. So that's why they were like, let him go. He was tortured. He didn't kill him, but who knows? I guess a few people know, but one of them is dead because he was hung without his family being contacted or his lawyer being contacted allegedly on Saturday. So not great.
Bummer.
Hopefully Iran gets on the peace train here. 'cause
Seems
it's
like
a
they're
fun
handling
train.
the being left out of the deal well,
Yeah.
Really not overreacting to anything.
They're the cause. Yeah.
No.
Does the Iron Sheik know about this?
The Iron Sheik is very aware of this. Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah.
Was he a pro wrestler or a Greco-Roman wrestler?
This guy was like almost an Olympic level amateur wrestler. He was not a pro wrestler.
Yeah,
A very gifted athlete in it.
Yeah.
Somebody
Outside
who-
of the Iron Sheik, not a lot of famous Iranian
Was he participating in
professional
MMA? Is that
wrestlers.
why Dana White was he like an MMA?
He's
fighter
27.
on the
He
side?
was well known in the wrestling fighting community. He was super athlete.
Yeah, so people just
circles
knew
are
who he
small
was.
when you're a super athlete in that world. So not great. Hopefully they get on the peace train. It's a fun train to be a part of, right? It's like rooting for Leeds their first year back in the Premiership in 20 years. So MOT Iran,
Hell yeah, big time.
right? And that story was brought to you by is Paint Your Life. And basically, with the news of the peace in the Middle East, it's time to celebrate. The best way to celebrate is to give someone a gift. You probably aren't the best gift giver. Let's be honest, it's okay. I'm an awful gift giver too, or I was until I discovered Paint Your Life. And here's what Paint Your Life is. It's literally a professionally done fucking painting. So there you go.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty hard to top.
Right.
With like
it's a
paint and
painting,
everything?
guys. Yeah, it's like a painting you can hang in your house. If you know anyone with a birthday, an anniversary, a wedding, or a big event, and you want to give them the absolute best gift that they will get from anyone, get them a painting. They will never forget that gift. If you get them like an Amazon gift card, they're going to talk shit about you behind your back like everyone did with Iran and the Middle East deal. If you get them a painting, they're going to tell their pets in funny human voice like, oh, look what Uncle So-and-so got me. It's that beautiful painting on the wall. So you want to be, which one of those do you want to be? I don't know. Paint Your Life provides professional hand-painted portraits created from any photo or photos you're choosing at a truly affordable price. Choose from a team of world-class artists that work with you like through every detail, like Pat mentioned. You can keep being like, look, this isn't perfect to me, and make sure you get it perfect. They'll work with you on that. It's a user-friendly platform that lets you order a custom-made hand-painted portrait in less than 5 minutes. So anyone can do it. Super easy to use, and it's just all you have to do at paintyourlife.com is not have any risks, because if you don't love the painting, they'll give you your money back guaranteed, full refund. But for a limited offer right now, you can get 20% off that painting. That's right, 20% off and free shipping. So
What?
Wow, yeah. How do you ship a
really
painting
good.
for free?
You don't. It requires like a big box, a truck,
Yeah.
Yeah.
a couple dudes.
So
I
get
tried
this
to
now.
sell a painting on eBay one time. I lost money on it because the shipping was so expensive. That's how good of a deal this is.
That's exactly right, Will. So get this deal before they go out of business, because they probably will with the free shipping. And to get this special offer, text the word FACTOR to 64,000. That's FACTOR to 64,000. Text FACTOR, all caps, to 64000. Paint Your Life. Celebrate the moments that matter most, guys.
All right, guys.
You want to hear someone go like, "That's so thoughtful." Give them a painting. They'll be like, "That's so thoughtful."
Yeah, if you don't like the person, don't give them painting, because they won't ever leave you alone for the rest of your life.
Oh,
This
I
is
mean,
someone
they,
you're. Yeah.
they probably would even take it further. That's maybe the most thoughtful thing anybody's ever done for them.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's going to be hard for them to throw it away, is what we're trying to say. They're going to have to put it up. So, guys, this is a weird one, not a fun one, but one we got to discuss. A whistleblower who worked at the ICE facility, the Immigration's Customs Enforcement, housed in the Irwin County Detention Center in Ocilla, Georgia. Quick side note, if anyone's an Up and Vanished fan out there, that's where Tara Grinstead disappeared from. But anyway, this whistleblower has come forward with some really terrible, if true, allegations.
Was that you plugging another non-Barstool podcast and not ours?
It was a bunch of. It's been a Dateline.
Is Up and Vanished the podcast?
It's been a Dateline. There's no true crime on Barstool.
I hate when you plug like other podcasts.
There's other stuff out there, but it's,
Okay.
yeah, it's,
No, there isn't. Just listen to us.
it's not a true crime. Okay, let me finish my story here. So these allegations, if they're true, they're fucking terrible, and it's related to the treatment of immigrants in this facility. And initially, the whistleblower wanted to come forward to speak out about the way that they were handling COVID and COVID protections related to the immigrants and also the people that worked there. However, guys, the more shocking thing in the complaint, in my opinion, is the extremely high rate of hysterectomies performed on women, immigrants, detained in that facility. And for those of you guys who are homeschooled or grossed out by lady parts, that's the procedure where they take out a woman's uterus. Just
What's the reasoning behind these? Who are these people getting these done?
so women that are being detained in the facility.
Right. No, I'm saying like, but why? For what reason would they?
So
do
they can't get pregnant.
Well, okay, so the headlines kind of made it seem like there was like engineered eugenics, right? Which it's a little bit different than it's one doctor apparently. So the whistleblower, her name is Dawn Wooten, and she's a licensed practical nurse employed at the prison, and she complained about this.
Okay, so she has her identities known. Okay.
She's protected by the Whistleblower Act, but her identity is known. But she's coming out. She did not name this doctor, but there's fucked up shit going on there because this one doctor that she talked about she said about, quote, the complaint doesn't disclose the name of the gynecologist or the number of women allegedly coerced into receiving the procedure, nor when it's occurred. But she said pretty much everyone he sees has a hysterectomy. Just about.
God, they got to get that guy.
Just about everybody.
How is he not like in a stockade right now?
Yeah, is it like that was the directive? Like that's like the whole.
There's no information on that
Everyone's in on
yet.
it, or is it just like one psychopath that's just taking you?
Yeah, it sounds like he's just a fucking psycho.
I really hope
Yeah.
that it's just like one isolated case of either a terrible fucking
You got to
doctor.
review the whole thing now. The whole operation has got to be reviewed.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah. Essentially,
that's a human rights violation.
Yeah, they got to review that.
Yeah, I'd say so.
100. It doesn't sound like. Look, I mean, like whatever the rhetoric is there, this guy might just be a hateful motherfucker. He might be misinterpreting rhetoric. There might be terrible rhetoric. Actually, I doubt it, but possibly.
If every woman that sees this guy gets her fucking uterus removed, yeah, they need to get him on the sidelines and review this thing and immediately.
Right. At a minimum, that he needs to go down, and then we need to find out if it was him acting on his own craziness or if there was like
What's the
order.
next step?
Yeah.
Yeah.
An order.
So Dawn said everyone's uterus cannot be that bad. I mean, yeah.
Nah.
So he's even taken out the wrong ovary on a young lady who's a detained immigrant, and she was supposed to get her left ovary removed because it had a cyst. They took out the other ovary, and then she had to go back, and they completely removed her ovary. So
He's like, oh, no problem. We'll just get the other one too.
Yeah.
What the hell?
They
We'll
do
just
so
do my
much
standard operation, allegedly.
Doing a lot of stuff to women at this place.
Well,
It's gonna take the whole oven out.
Well,
worse
like having a cyst, like it sounds like some of the procedures are to keep people healthy, but then this guy is obviously allegedly taking it to the.
well,
He sounds like a serial killer.
You got to call that in question
Right.
because one immigrant was quoted as saying, "When I met all these women who had surgeries, I thought this was like an experimental concentration camp. It was like they're experimenting on our bodies."
That's what I'm saying. A lot of too much women stuff going on here.
Yeah, and Wooten said that a lot of times women were not given the opportunity to consent at all, and they had no idea what was happening
no,
because they
there's
don't
no
speak English.
consenting with this doctor.
Yeah, he's just saying, "I'm doing a procedure on you, uterus gone, bam."
And so so basically she was saying like the COVID protection across the board was bad, but on top of it, there's Dr. fucking Psycho who's taking out everybody's uterus.
Exactly. So the uterus thing, what had been happening, it has been happening for a while, but the COVID protection thing was like the thing that was like the tipping point for her to bring the complaint forward.
Whoa.
He's like the doctor from that lives in the underworld in House of a Thousand Corpses, like under the ground. He's like that guy.
Not good.
It's
Not
like
good.
A horror show in this place.
So I mean, regardless, they need to revamp those ICE facilities generally. That a fucking doctor could be in there just taking out every woman, every immigrant's uterus is fucked up.
Yeah.
Dr. Satan.
Dr. Satan. Yeah.
They
That's
really got to take a closer look at that guy.
Thanks, Pat.
Maybe.
Hard review.
Sorry.
Hey, Pat, any podcasts to check out? If the
It's a great one
got
called
follow-ups on that?
Hard Factor. We never talk about true crime, but
Texas
it'll give you the
Chainsaw
news you need to know
Podcast.
today.
If you need another hour to kill, you can go to our radio show. You know,
Yeah, that was tough. That was tough. But it was honestly like I was worried that it was like a big, like a giant, like national conspiracy. If it's
That's the way that the headlines made it seem. But
right. Hopefully they review it and it's just.
I'm praying it's one
isolated to
psycho.
this
I mean, it's
guy.
bad either way.
Yeah.
But it's,
Horrible. Yes.
They're going to make haunted house out of that place soon.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to some much happier political news. And we're talking about weed legislation updates brought to you from P-Fits in the Hardo Hive and also Buddha Ben, who has been advocating for everybody to register to vote because New Jersey has marijuana on the ballot this year, and so do a bunch of other states. But before we get to those, the MORE Act that we've covered before, which is the federal act to decriminalize cannabis, take it off of the scheduled drugs list, is gaining some more steam in Congress with one additional Republican signing on to it. I think it's a guy from Alaska. The biggest notable Republican name who supports it is Matt Gaetz. And so from what I'm reading, it's expected to pass the House of Representatives next week, is if what I'm reading is accurate. And That's great news, right? Because that would decriminalize marijuana federally, and that would pass the House. Kamala Harris is the author of the sister bill in the Senate. So I don't really know how that works with her being a candidate on the Dem ticket, but however it works out, I really hope that Congress puts it on Trump's desk or whoever is there to sign it as soon as possible, because I mean, this is definitely the furthest federally it's ever got.
It straight decriminalizes, or it moves it down the schedule from Schedule 1 to...
I think it decriminalizes it all the way, like takes away the prohibition federally.
Whoa.
And then the states then would be having to vote on what, whether they allow it, recreationally, medicinally, whatever. It's up to them. And then I think there might be something in the MORE Act about expungement, or like encouraging states to expunge, previous records. I'm not sure on that. I haven't read everything. But it's cool. It's cool. It's the furthest it's gotten federally. There's some bipartisan support. So, I'm not sure how November shakes out, but the fact that is like in the works and in the process, I mean, it's good news.
Dude, how not crazy are some of those crazy guys going to seem? That's going to be like the guys who were part of NORML in the 1980s who were like, legalize weed, man. Like, those guys deserve this, because you
They've
forget
been pushing a long time.
What a freaky concept it used to be to legalize marijuana. It was really.
Well, I don't know. I was watching Cheech and Chong the other day. If you haven't ever watched Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke, I mean, it's like the original stoner movie. I mean, that's back in what was that? Early 70s?
Yeah, middle of 70s, yeah. I mean, no, marijuana was, don't get me wrong, marijuana was marijuana went through a thing where it was accepted, then it was unaccepted, and then it was reaccepted. Like 80s and 90s, not
so you're saying the 80s guys really held strong.
Early 90s pro weed guys, too. Those some champions out there.
Yeah, all right. And then also, not only is it at the federal level, but like we've been saying on this show, you got to register to vote, because what's happening at your local level is way more important to you in your everyday life than what's happening at the federal level and any of those things you're voting for Congress, Senate, President, whatever. Because locally, if you are in Arizona, New Jersey, South Dakota, Montana, or Mississippi, you really need to register to vote, because you can vote to legalize marijuana in your state this year.
Lucky bastards.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the public ballot. So those states, again, Arizona, New Jersey, South Dakota, Montana, and Mississippi, the power is in your hands. The tonight is your night, bro. So you can get out there and vote to get some dispensaries near your house.
One guy who should have no say in it is the South Dakota
Ravensbourg?
Yeah,
Attorney General.
Ravensbourg.
Attorney General.
Don't forget,
Ravensbourg.
listen to radio. Power 85 Barstool Radio Sirius XM 10 to 11 Eastern today to hear the update on Ravensbourg.
It was a half human, half deer.
He's spinning.
Yeah, so keep him out of the election booth. He's probably going to be busy with some legal issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that we know what's going on with this federal and state marijuana legislation, let's talk about the battleground states for weed and how we can use some of that information or focus on them at predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20 to get some money out of one of these states. And one of the states, I don't know if you guys noticed, Arizona, New Jersey, South Dakota, Montana, Mississippi. What do those have in common besides New Jersey?
They're red?
Red states, right. And Wes has called this one before. Arizona. Still, Biden is the heavy favorite on Predicted, or the Democrat Party is to carry the state of Arizona. People think because of the anger over McCain, but Arizona has never voted for a Democratic presidential candidate since Bill Clinton, and then before that, you have to go back to 1948 for the last time they voted for a Democrat before Clinton. So Obama, neither of those elections. I think, like Montana, Mississippi, and South Dakota, their fellow red states voting to legalize marijuana. I wouldn't conflate marijuana policy with personal presidential policy in these states, and it's an excellent value at 38 cents in Arizona for the Republicans. Oh, yeah. Even if that doesn't hit, I think you can dump that for a big profit later on. Remember, go to predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20 to get your first $20 matched on us in the stock market of politics. And now let's take it over to a conversation with our buddy Dave from Oregon.
All right. We have a special guest, my good friend, You want me to say your last name? How do you want me to introduce you?
Let's just keep it first for now.
All right. This is Dave, and Dave is he's out in Oregon, McMinnville. Is that where you're at, buddy?
That is true. Yes.
Okay, and he came on to talk to us about what the fuck is going on out there in Oregon with all these wildfires. I know I had chatted with you a little bit on the side when you were talking about like going outside, and if you tune into YouTube, you can see these masks that he's got around his neck. That's what it takes to go outside in Oregon right now, where you are, right?
Yeah, I mean, what I'm kind of wearing here on display is kind of the evolution of the mask scene here.
You're like a janitor with keys, but with masks.
Yeah, it's like exactly like this
A
one.
janitor in Chernobyl.
This one's like I was saying, Pat. Man, look at that outfit. Look at this mask. This is for you. Yeah, this is like when everyone thought COVID was a joke. This is like, yeah, it's getting a little serious. And then the fires happened, and this became pretty much, just to even go outside.
What is that even called? That's a respirator
like
or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what?
These are the ones that basically like a painter or something would wear. I mean, you start kind of actually reading into like the particle size and trying to determine, how am I going to breathe?
Like changeable filters. And
yeah, these are, they last. There's like a duration that you have to monitor. I was already using these, luckily, with what I do for a living, which is, I'm a grower and owner here in a cannabis operation.
Yeah, well, that's
so it's like
valued
gloves,
service, sir.
Masks,
Thank you.
things like that. Luckily, I had a lot of that stuff on hand.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just been really stressful on, people's property, animals. As you can imagine, in an agricultural zone, there's a lot of horses, cows. People are like volunteering with their trailers from out of town. They're like making fairgrounds, basically like kind of sites where you can bring your animal and things like that.
So what? So people are like helping out in the community, but what's it like at home? Like, are you having to like put towels under the doors and shit to like keep the smoke out?
Tell us
what's your daily shit.
Tell us what the news isn't telling us. Like we know,
So what's kind of the underlining weird thing here is like, so a lot of people are worried, when you evacuate, you're thinking like, I need to get out of Dodge, maybe I never come back to my home. Maybe when I do come back, it's burnt down, whatever.
How many people are evacuating? Like what percent?
At one point, I think they said 500,000 people.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Were like in some, like there's like 3 stages. You basically have to learn about evacuation stages on the fly too. These are things
this is unusual. This is unusual for Oregon, right? I mean, like this level of fire and smoke is not normal, right? Like,
yeah, I have about 20 years under my belt in this state, and there's a lot, obviously, people that have spent, their whole life here and have grandpa and all that. This is, I guess it's like 150 years since it's been this bad. And it just, if you think about the population density at that time frame, it's going to be a lot different than it is today.
Yeah.
And a lot of this was rural areas, but it started approaching major cities. Which we only have a few, so it's a big deal.
Right. It's all got pretty close to Portland.
Yeah. So like there was even parts, if you look at Portland, it basically, if you start looking at it from kind of the southeast corner and kind of the most extreme east part of the Portland metro area, that's kind of where that was really coming from in terms of the evacuation notifications. Clackamas County, there's only a couple counties in the Portland metro area, and that's a general statement. Like there's technically the one that counts, but if you live nearby there, it's all about the same,
Yeah.
Is it like 28 days later, like the second one? How many people have you had to shoot at your property because they were coming in to like steal from you? Like,
me personally, no, but everyone is prepared for kind of any of that. Being in the industry I am, there's been a lot of thefts. Unfortunately to say, we have high levels of security, cameras and all that. But, what could one person really do in that circumstance?
So people are just like the people who are evacuating coming through and like places they normally wouldn't be coming through. Is that how it's happening?
Yeah. What's happening is people are deciding not to leave in some cases and then videotaping people on their friends or neighbors' property.
Yeah, Dave, quick side note, I got to tell you, the last time I was out there in Portland, we were with your buddy, who was your partner at the time, and we were trying to explain to him how cool it was that you could potentially take me back to your grow house compared to where
Yeah.
we grew up from in Northern Virginia, where it's like even you wouldn't even show your brother your grow house. So good on you.
Exactly.
But
Thanks, man.
what is it? So what is it like out there? I mean, we saw the pictures of San Francisco, right, where the sky turned orange, and we've heard the reports specifically of it being very terrible to breathe. What's the visibility in front of your face? Is it like a wonderland of hell? I mean, is it surreal? What?
It's crazy. I sent Wes a video. I hope maybe your audience can check it out on YouTube. But today is actually a good day. I can actually go outside and breathe, even though the air quality is still very poor. But Pat, never ever in my life, ever. Like, even imagine being like forced, someone's holding you over a campfire being put out.
Right.
Oh,
So do you have ash fall? Do you have ash falling in your?
Yeah, at night, it's like you got your flood lamps and stuff in your back, and you just go out to kind of see what's going on, and you're just watching all this particulate just fly through the air, and then you're like, wait, it's really dry out there, and what if any of this is an ember?
Mm-hmm.
what does it smell like?
Right.
It smells like damp campfire, like that. It's the
It's
weirdest.
it's big. Smells like a bonfire. Yeah, like a big.
That's just put out, like right when you threw that first 5-gallon bucket on there, you know, and it just shoots everything out.
That's not a great smell.
No, it's really not. And basically, it's combining with fog, because what ends up happening is a weird weather pattern. It's supposed to be like in the 80s right now, but it's more like high 60s, low 70s. So the smoke layer is actually the sun's beating down. It's creating this false sense of humidity. I mean, it's real. So
and it blocks out the sunlight too, which sucks for the people on the ground too. If even if your house is okay, you're like not. You're locked in. You're locked in.
Right. And I'm here in wine country, and it's about to be like grape harvest. Everyone's freaking out there. Hops, all the intoxicants we love. This is the heart of it. And I'm telling you, there's going to be like a problem basically in terms of supply as it relates to those three things. People do their best to try to clean things up, but these are things, these are like some of the up and coming. I mean, they've always been big, but every year beer, wine, and cannabis gets a little more important to everybody. So it's going to be a tough one, just keep your eyes on that. I know you guys are always on the cutting edge of a lot of stories, but just keep your eyes on that, because maybe, home breweries and things like that, it may be smart to start kind of getting some of that equipment, because you might not be able to get all those cool seasonal stuff that comes out and, on these good years. So
on that note, the industry is like, do you know of any sort of like federal aid? Is there an end in sight? Like,
so what I kind of see is basically there's still some major fires that are not contained, and I think from like a bureaucratic perspective, they're probably not going to start releasing anything. Everyone's kind of like getting their pitch together, but it starts getting weird, because like they start talking about foundations and private funding and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, how do you rebuild like certain things that are like nature, right? How is this money going to be spent? Everyone's just getting really, really suspicious of everything. And that's kind of the troubling part of this is that, who do you go to when you literally lost everything? You had to evacuate. You're stuck on basically, some of these highways to get from the coast back like to the city, you're really only on a 2-lane highway and people are going 55 miles an hour normally. But when there's 30,000 people trying to evacuate.
Dave, that's what I was going to ask. So I think that the closest thing we saw with mass evacuation or that we can relate to is like Katrina, right? So like there's, one road out of New Orleans that was bad. I imagine, I've been to rural Oregon. I would imagine that there are instances where the fires are cutting off escape routes completely, and they were talking about evacuations. What's the vibe with that? Like, are people stranded and stuck because roads are closed, and are they evacuating people on the masses via helicopters? Can they even do that?
Yeah, it's just the en masse part is where it gets kind of tricky in the rural areas. You know what I mean? And you are completely right. There usually is only a couple ways in or out. Luckily, we're talking about some of the most resourceful people on the planet,
Yeah.
It's
like you're staying there, right, and like helping defend the town, right? So like I'm assuming a lot of people are doing that. Like
basically there's all these different internet chat little groups of people from not too far away. I got some people that, were kind of non-politically trying to be a medic at the protests, and now they're taking all their gear and stuff and trying to volunteer more on the fire department side. So, I mean, it's just, there is a lot of good coming out of this, in the sense of like, if you're not, I feel so lucky. Like
You guys are like Alaskans without the felonies.
kind of, it's like, hey, I'm here to help. What's the problem? I mean, because really, is there going to be a time where I'm going to need someone else's assistance? And I mean, that's kind of where things are at right now.
Yeah, you see the power of the wildfires, and it's just like humbling, I think, to understand how it can just take away everything.
Sounds like the Cajun Navy, but like your version of like the Cajun Navy, right? Where everyone's lending a hand. With
The hacky sack army.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, what's kind of interesting, it's like, and all of a sudden now you get kind of organized, right? You end up finding some people that are actually legit, maybe have a couple extra hands, and we got people driving around with their cars filled with fire extinguishers. I mean, that's freaking smart.
And you're like, hey, stop. We need those. Why are you driving away from us with those fire extinguishers, man?
Selling them for $1,000
Now is not the time.
He's like, Venmo.
Yeah, it's a good business opportunity.
Dave, what does it smell like when a whole crop of marijuana, an outdoor grow, gets ignited? Is that just, can you tell when a fellow farmer's a bit affected?
Well, I mean, you're basically going to smell human flesh burning too, because they're going to be there trying to save everything. I mean, it's so crazy. I mean, this is a very special plan. I know you guys are all big fans, so I don't need to tell you, but when it's yours and if you've put everything into this, this is the legal market. We had to put our ass on the line, and a lot of us haven't really made any money yet. This is a long play thing. My heart goes out, man. Like, I think roughly half of the licensees in some way or another are going to be affected by this.
Right. Either
whether it's a shop you worked with, a processor who ran your trim. I mean, there's only so many prime outdoor greenhouse zones in our state. And it sucks, but that's what frickin' got hit. And it's like, they're my compatriots. We all jumped into this legal thing together. As one of the first states. And it's just like, I mean, imagine if this happened to Colorado, it's like Washington, Colorado, and Oregon are like the big three. Cali, I mean, are they really legal? I mean, come on.
Right. And they were later on too.
Yeah. So
there's no community there with those charlatans. It's the real down home earthy people in Washington, Colorado.
Well, I can see why you're sticking around and making sure that like you're defending the farm,
Yeah, because, really at the end of the day, if I do make it and I don't really get affected and everything keeps moving forward, it's going to create a crazy market fluctuation in terms of pricing too.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be like,
well, yeah,
it smells like a campfire, It's like, I'm not paying full price, So
yeah, it's like when someone's older brother got busted in high school and then your older brother runs the show.
I went on a walk today and there was a bag of weed just on the sidewalk. I almost picked it up, but I thought it was like a $2 trick. It was probably like an eighth. It was a good amount, but it didn't look great. It had a little bit of red hairs, but it didn't look fantastic. And we have some at home, so I didn't really want to fuck with it.
The kids needed it more than you, Mark.
Yeah, that's right. The house next door, a kid just got on a bike that was like 12 and just rode off, and he went luckily the wrong direction. But I think he's gonna find it. It's 2 feet from his house.
Well, it looks like you did the right thing and picked it up and make sure it got up the streets.
I should have.
You literally, Mark, you came across drugs on the street and you left him on the street.
Yeah, it's swag.
It was basically swag. I mean, what am I gonna do with it? I don't know where it's been.
Yeah,
could have COVID.
Yeah, it could have COVID. That shit could be wet.
I've always joked it would be funny to bring some of the stuff we used to smoke back east to the laboratories here, like the official scientific laboratories to kind of
to see how shitty it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 5%.
Yeah. You guys should maybe do a little contest of who's got the worst weed in America or something like that.
Well, now if we're doing that, I'm going to go retrace my steps.
Yeah, it might be a fixed game right now.
Well, shit, Dave, we really hope that you're able to, save everything that you can and that your community is not impacted, to the degree that it can be. Like, I think that the fact that the fires have always been around, and they are seeming to get worse. And like this year, you said is like 150-year terrible like situation.
Storm.
But
Yeah.
you're always going to have to, even if there's a way to help reduce the frequency, you're still going to have to prepare to fight them because they've always been in this area of the country. So, I think that like what you're doing is really really noble. Everybody who's fighting the fires, fighting the blaze right now.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Real quick, I mean, just one thing anybody can do. I mean, there's a lot of discussion of is rain catch illegal, all that kind of stuff. If you own your building, if it is your building and you're collecting it off your roof, you can do it. And in a big rainstorm, you'd be surprised how quick that thing fills up.
Yeah, and water saves.
People are
your
worried
property.
about rain catch
And
laws
there's
right now.
there's websites where you can basically get a fire hose connect at the bottom of your rain collector, so that if it came down to it, the fireman can literally hook right up to you. So just look up what kind of fitting is used in your county or your town, and just mimic that with your rain catch. And you may be able to save your neighbor, your own stuff. I mean,
I know I'm getting my sprinkling system fixed after all this. Like that's for sure.
Yeah, just kind of relook at everything because Reno, pretty hot. Texas, pretty hot.
Yeah, well, the smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, the smoke's all over here. Like
Smoke's coming our way
we've been
too. Will.
Smoked out.
We're
yeah.
we're getting smoke next week, which is crazy in Austin. But yeah, if you have any updates or like any ways to help charities or something like that to help the people there, come back on.
Yeah, for sure. One thing, if the smoke is hitting you, I would say look up these like $25 at-home air filters with the box fans. Like they sold out in 10 seconds here as soon as that idea hit. So
like an air purifier in the house kind of thing.
It's literally just like an HVAC fan on the back of a box fan.
Right.
It's pretty, and then you like basically put some saran wrap and just kind of
make your own filter.
It's kind of ghetto-ish, but it works. It's better than
$25. You're speaking my language. Yeah.
Maybe 26. I don't know. But yeah, man, thanks for having me on. I'm glad to get some of this information out. The news, this stuff's kind of trickling out, but if you look at some of these Facebook groups, some of them are, I think it's called like Oregon's Fires 2020, little things like that. I mean, it's just normal people posting stuff. That's where some of this kind of juicier info is coming out. So
nice.
Just wanted to say that there's a delay of like the Oregonian or something like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, shit, man. Stay safe out there, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
I appreciate it. Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
Dave. Good to see you.
Appreciate that.
Later.
We'll make it through.
Yes. Good to see you, buddy.
All right, that was a fun conversation. I don't think we brought up though with him about the guys who had been caught trying to light fires in Washington and Oregon. There's some news about that.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Yeah. Some other stuff. So there's all kinds of crazy shit going on with the fires. Great conversation with Dave. Thank you for fighting the fires out there, Dave. And thank you for listening as always. In the Hardo Hive, we appreciate every single one of you tuning in every day because this is what we want to do. This is the best job we've ever had, and we love reading the news for you guys. Yeah, have a great fucking day.